All right, our recording has begun and our class will begin. So thank you for joining me Monday, Memorial Day. I believe it's the 24th. Is that right? Maybe it's the 25th. I'm losing track. I'll start with some breath and spinal movement and a mantra. The mantra today is called Moola Mantra. It's different. I'll say it a few times for you. While you settle in and center yourself with the breath, taking deep breaths in, deep breaths out, relax the shoulders and the neck area and any tension in the face, just let it go. You're going to put your hands in Va, with the left hand resting on the lap and the right hand supported by the left hand. So in that cup shape. Bharava, just simply the gesture of fierce determination. You can imagine at this time what you are fiercely determined to do in your life or day or hour. And if you made a pact with yourself, something that you wanted to get done, intended today, after it, let's put both a good effort forward to complete it. And welcome those who are joining me on Zoom live. We're just starting with a chant in Bharava Mudra. Om Satchitananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavate Samate Shri Bhagavate Namaha. Om Satchitananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samata Shri Bhagavate Namaha. Om Satchitananda Parabrahma Purushottama Paramatma Shri Bhagavati Samata Shri Bhagavate Namaha. Just to bring us into the energies, the intertwining energies of yin and yang, balancing left and right, Surya, sun, and energies of being tamasic versus rajasic, or very low energy versus high energy. It's just an invitation to balance that out. So we'll take then the breath after a little bit of movement, going forward and back. Today, a little mixture of sammelana, which is mingling or joining together, and coupled with the energy of opening the hips, the hamstrings, and the quadriceps to free up our low back. So a lot of floor work today and energy work. Start to make a figure 8 with the arms crossing in front of each other, opening the heart and chest as you take the arms out, and then closing back as you cross the arms in front. There's no right or wrong. Let your body flow with the breath. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Last one. Take the arms all the way out to the side. Overhead, interlace the fingers and then press the palms to the sky. Stretching the wrist over to your right side and sway, anchor down through the hips and then lift with your oblique. Come back to center. Keep the anchor and shift over to your left. Let's do that again. Over to the right, little sway. Keep the belly firm and strong. Lengthen in the spine. Exhale. And bring the arm to the floor, hand to the mat, meets the mat. And we can go a little deeper. We've got some support here. 1 or 2 breaths. And then bring it back to center. Inhale. And exhale over to your left. Again, deep opening from your pinky finger all the way down to your sit bone on the right side. And bring it back to center. Take the arms and float them outward. We'll just take an extension. Extend, extend through the rib, side to side. And bring the arms overhead, inhale. And then we're going to exhale through the mouth with a ha. So we're seated. It's a very grounding breath. It's a little windy here today, so I want to just, at the very beginning of class, get you seated and grounded. So Vastrika is the arms overhead, and then we're just going to pull them out. Ha. Inhale through the nose, exhale, ha. Ha. About that pace. Ha. With me. Ha. 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 4 more. Ha. Ha. 2 more. Ha. Last one. Ha. Bring the arms up. Inhale. Interlace the fingers. Hold the breath at the top. And connect with Moola Mantra. That's the pelvic floor lift. Draw up through the navel. Through the Sushumna, or the spine, through the crown of the head. And then release and exhale. Bring the hands to your heart. We'll do that 1 more time. Little shoulder roll here. Forward, up, back, and down. Again, Vastrika. Inhale the arms overhead through the nose. Exhale with a ha, 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 ha. 3 more. Ha, ha. Last one. Ha. Bring it to the sky. Inhale. Hold the breath. Moola Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Gunjalandhara. Locks. And then exhale. Release the hands to the heart center. Let's take a prayer wheel and rotate through the wrist. I'm going to likely do some joint mobility today. Open up the shoulders and in both directions. So the front heart and the back of the heart. From here, let's take the legs to the back. Coming onto hands and knees. And shift a little bit side to side so that the knees are maybe 4 to 6 inches apart, just slightly behind the hips. The arms are shoulder width apart, is slightly up in front of the shoulder. And we'll take a little cat-cow. I'm going to give a heads up warning that my microphone might, the battery is a little bit low. I'm not sure how long it will last. So if I lose the microphone, please let me know if you cannot hear me. Okay, hopefully it will just stay the whole time. We'll extend the right leg to the back of your mat and take pressure through the heel So it's a point and then a flex, point and a flex. Now your base leg, the left knee, top of the foot is down. We're going to press into the top of the foot, and as you peel back, push the hands into the floor and lift your knee off the ground, and then bring it down lightly. Inhale here, exhale, press the hands into the mat and lift the knee lightly. Again, inhale. So the knee comes off the ground very lightly, lowering back down. Try not to drop it, but make sure it lands with a very light feather touch. And then come all the way into downward facing dog. So we'll flip the left toes around and land with the feet about hip distance apart or sit bone distance apart. We'll take a nice, easy downward facing dog. Draw the shoulders forward, come into a high plank, and then take it back into a downward facing dog. Inhale forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time with the bent knee, come forward, lift the hips, and then go all the way back. Bend the knees, so we're taking a circular motion, kind of a wave-like action through the hips, the knees, and the shoulders warming up. Now you can reverse that. So the hips come up, we draw forward, bend the knees, hips go back, lift up, forward, into plank, and back. One more time. Oh yeah. And then gently bring the knees back to the earth. Take the leg straight out and press through the heel. Little pulsation here, forward and back. And it's a flex and a point through the back foot. Point and flex, pressing back. Inhale and exhale. Then begin to bring your knee down. So a lot of energy through the fingertips. Press into the floor and then lower the knee gently. So you have to engage the abs to let that drop, to not let it drop, but very gently onto the floor. And forward and back. One more time with a gentle lowering all the way back into downward facing dog. Flip the right foot over. And now you can walk the dog, pressing the left heel down and then the right. Inhale, switch, exhale, hold. Inhale, switch, and exhale, hold. Inhale, switch, exhale, hold. One more time. And then we'll bring the knees to the floor and shift the hips all the way back into a child's pose, coming off the wrist. Bend at the elbow and bring the hands behind the base of the skull. Take a few deep breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling to expand the back, ribs, the shoulders. Exhale, you lessen the expansion. Inhale the expansion. Exhale, release it. Rotate through the wrists. So we're still in child's pose. I'm going to give your wrist a little break here. And then come back up onto the hands and knees. We'll actually stretch the wrist today. So we're going to flip the right hand around so the fingers are pointing towards you. And a little micro bend in the right knee. And I'm just going to take the shoulder behind the fingertips. Now some friends are going to be vertical because your wrist is not going to have that much give. I've been working on this for some time, and trust me, I started right here where everyone else starts, that there was a lot of stretch. And if you're not feeling compression, but we're feeling just more opening, compression can happen here if bone is on bone, but most folks aren't going to get that far because we feel that All right, then release that. Shake the hand out. Let's come to the other side. And each time you bring a hand to the floor, you want to grip the floor with your fingertips really strong. And then we can flip the hand around. Same grip with those fingers. Slight bend in the elbow. And I'm just going to take the shoulders back a little bit. So nothing too intense. But I do want to open up the front body, the front part of the arm, the forearm. Breathe in and breathe out. And then gently bend, peel back, shake that hand out. On the hands and knees. Again, now we're going to take the right leg out to the side and plant the foot to the floor and press the hips back to the heel. Okay, I've done quite a bit of hiking and biking this last weekend, and so this feels super good because I'm very tight everywhere. Inner thighs, and I did stretch, yes, but there's a lot of different muscles that we're working. Exhale back, inhale forward, exhale. It's good to have a friend like yoga to keep us mindful of how the elasticity in our bodies, and just be mindful of how our bodies are feeling. Okay, one more time, all the way back. And then we're going to just extend it in the right leg to the back wall here. Come into a three-legged down dog. And then step forward, right foot, outside your right pinky finger. So I'm in a low lunge. I'll raise the hips and then exhale, bend the knee. We're going straight for this nice warm up, the inner thigh, hamstring, a little of the flexor as well on the opposite leg. Inhale, raising the hips, exhale, bending the knee. Let's go one more time. And then exhale, bend, step all the way back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, come into plank. And then we're going to go straight, knees to the floor, and then chest and chin to the floor. Inhale to low cobra. Just coming up. Oh, Nagini style. Sway side to side. That feels super good. And then all the way back into a downward, or hands and knees. Yeah, we're not going to downward facing dog. We're going to take the left leg out and do the exact same thing on the other side. So pressing back, hips to heels on your exhale. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, press back. Now, at the same time, the left foot is pushing into the floor. All four corners. So that gives me a little more information in my inner thigh. If that feels good to you, you can hold that energy. And if you want, you could just stay back here and hold the extension and open the inner thigh. I like the mobility aspect here at the beginning of class. One more time. Come forward and then extend the left leg to the back wall, turning the toes under, and with a lift, right? I'm coming forward, lifting the back knee off the ground, super strong in the back foot, and the left leg comes to the sky. And then step it through. I'm going to go outside my left pinky finger, coming into a low lunge. You may want to use a block here. Inhale, raise the hips, and exhale, lower. I've also shown how to use a water bottle. I don't actually have one in the vicinity right quick, but if you have, like, I don't know, anything that resembles this or that would help support you in more openness, I definitely take that option. One more time. And exhale, plant the hands to the floor, step it all the way back, downward facing dog. Inhale into a plank, exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra. Peel the shoulders back, lift the head. And then exhale, take it back into child's pose, all the way back. We're going to come through doing a namaskar, just gliding along the surface to open the shoulders a little bit more and strengthen the arms. So what it looks like is you pull the hands back, we glide on the surface, and then lift into a low cobra, and then take it right back into a child's pose. Now, some friends might want to keep it in a puppy pose and the forearms on the ground, so it's not so hard on the shoulders. If you're doing it that way, you'll come into Sphinx, elbows straight under the shoulders, and then you'll lift the hips back into puppy pose, glide along the surface, pulling the arm back, lifting the chest forward, and then circle again. If you're going all the way back into child's pose, hands on the floor, elbows come up to the ceiling, low cobra, exhale back one more time. And either one of those motions, you do what works best for you. And then finally come all the way back into Balasana. Keep the right hand planted and just cross your left hand over the top and press your left hip out. Take a couple of deep breaths in Parsva Balasana. And come back to center. Cross the right hand over left. Shift the left hip or right hip off to the side slightly. With a couple of breaths, and then come all the way back here. And we'll loosen up the shoulders here, dropping the heart towards the floor, and then pulling the heart away from the floor. And I like to call this flossing the shoulders. It's like a shoulder shrug, only we're not going up and down like we would normally if we were seated, going up and down. We're going forward and back. Okay, the hands are planted, so it's a closed chain action. Heart melts. So the torso is the thing that's moving up and down, piston action. You start to get some movement in the shoulder, the hands, the grip. There, awesome. Now take the right leg forward. Bring the hands up to the thigh and shift the weight over the front foot. So the knee's just tracking over the arch of the foot. If you're too far forward, you're going to push into the knee. So make sure you've got some good grounding on the back knee, the front heel, front foot. Hold steady and bring the left arm up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, take it back, straightening the leg, both hands to the floor in a runner's stretch. Dig the heel in and draw your right sit bone back. I'm going to take the left hand to the foot, right hand to the waist, and a little twist. This creates a little balancing action. And if this is bothersome on your knee, keep the hand on the floor instead of the foot, hand on the waist, and then extend the arm. And exhale, bring it all the way back to center. Bending the knee, release, coming back into downward facing dog. Step the left leg to the top of the mat. Gently bring the right knee to the floor. We'll hold Anjaneyasana with the hands to the thigh. So lifting up, the knee again is plumb line up from the arch of the foot. Be aware of pressing down through the front heel and the back knee so you get a little lift from the lower half of the body that's not sinking down. We don't want all the force down. We want some lift. So the foot's very strong and active. Right arm coming up. Inhale. Awesome. Exhale, straighten the leg and bring the hands to a block, floor. You're going to point the toes upward, dig the heel in, and draw the sit bone back. Again, now stay here. This is challenging or it feels good to you and you want to stay here. That's great. Some friends are going to want to take it a little bit deeper. Right hand to left foot. Balance action, left hand to the left hip. Rotate, open just slightly, and then extend the arm off to the side. So a lot of variations and modifications here, options to tune into your own body. This takes a lot of balance, which I'm working on greatly. And then bring it back to center, remove the block, all the way back into a downward facing dog. Extend the right leg to the sky, inhale, and then step forward. A low lunge. We're going to come up into a crescent lunge, keeping the back heel off the ground. Back heel's off the ground, crescent lunge here. Taking the arms wide. Inhale, exhale, cross forward and bow. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, cross and bow forward. Inhale again. Exhale, cross. And one more time. Arms come straight out. Hold here, bring the right arm forward, and the left arm is going to come right underneath and scoop until we twist the arms together in a Garudasana pose. So we're getting that big, full stretch through the back. Lift the elbows away from the heart. Pull the low belly in. And if you would like to challenge your balance, you could look at the ceiling. Okay, if you would like to look straight forward, your choice. I'm going to look towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the arms, stretch it wide. Exhale, both hands to the floor. Step all the way back into downward facing dog. And we'll lift the left leg to the sky, inhale. Step all the way forward. Coming into crescent lunge once again. So hand on the thigh. Back thigh is very strong. Push down through the back toes. Inhale, open the arms. Open the heart. Chest, exhale, open the back body. You dive forward. Inhale. Open, exhale. We're making a wave-like motion or action through the arms. Inhale. Exhale one more time. And then hold the arms wide. Bring the left arm in. And sweep the right arm underneath. So you're crossing at the elbows, and we're going to take a twist or back of the hands together. That works just as well. And some friends will just want to cross the elbows and give yourself a nice hug and feel that whole stretch across the back. Okay, either way, lift the elbows away from the chest. Take your gaze forward or straight up. Keep the back leg long and strong. Hold 3, hold 2, and hold 1. Releasing the elbows all the way out. And bring the hands to the floor. Step it back, downward facing dog. Come forward into a high plank position. Lower all the way to the earth in chaturanga. We're going to keep the belly on the ground. Bring your left hand forward. So the forearms on the ground, and you can rest your forehead on the mat, on the forearm here. Bend your right knee and reach around, clasp the top of the foot, draw the heel towards the glute. So the important piece of this is to keep the top of the knee down. We're not lifting it, it's down. And then as you draw the heel towards the glute, connect the pubic bone towards the floor. It's not going to touch, but the energy is I'm drawing the sit bones towards the back wall or the wall behind me. If you're feeling this stretch deeply, stay here. If you want a little more, you can come up onto the forearm. And instead of holding the foot overhand, I'm going to flip my hand around and bring the elbow up again. But now I've got pressure on the heel and it's pressing all the way down into the glute. And now I'm feeling the stretch in my quad. So some friends are going to feel this way sooner. It might just be a stretch to grab a hold of the foot. And yes, that I'm in remembrance of when I started yoga. This was not my first place to be. Quads can really take a lot of stretch. Feels awesome. Go ahead and release the foot all the way back down. And we'll switch sides. So right arm comes to the mat. Forearm, or forehead to the forearm is a way to start. Tops of the feet down. Draw the low belly in. Sit bones towards the heels. Then bend the left knee. Keeping the knee on the ground, you're going to reach for behind with the left hand. Draw the heel towards the glute. And already that's a really nice deep stretch. Let the breath move you a little deeper. And if you are feeling like you want to come up, the higher the torso and the more you have the heel in, the more open that front body gets. So you start getting deep into the hip flexor even. So go to the point where you feel challenged and not stressed out. And sometimes it's a challenge to get to that tipping point, that edge where we can hold the posture, breathe evenly, stay in the body with the feeling and the sensation. 2 more breaths. 1 more. And then a gentle release. You let the leg go all the way to the floor. And we'll take the hands and separate the shoulders wide. Bring the neck and shoulders up into a low cobra, opening through the front body. And exhale, release to the floor. Take the hands behind the base of the spine, interlace the fingers, drop the knuckles down. Raise the legs, inhale, exhale, raise the head, neck, and shoulders. Hold, 3, 2, and 1. More breath, inhale. Exhale, lower down. Switch the grip on the hand. If your hands are just stacked one on top of the other, then bring the opposite hand forward. Okay, if they're interlaced, opposite thumb, and stretch. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale, exhale, raise the legs, and hold. 3 breaths. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath, a little higher. And exhale. Go ahead and release the hands. Shake the hips out, side to side. And we'll take 1 more posture. And you can repeat Shavasana, which is what we just did, that locust pose, or bend the knees and bring it into a bow pulling pose. So bending the knees. I'll show you a couple of different versions. The arms come out and you look like a skydiver. This is the position you take as a skydiver. Or you're going to reach around, clasp the top of the feet, and then press the feet up into the sky. So we really open that front chest, shoulders, heart open. Keep the knees squeezing like there's a block between the inner thighs versus releasing into your low back. 1 more breath. And exhale all the way down to the ground. Release the feet. Take the hands next to the chest and press all the way back up into a child's pose. All the way back. Hips to heels, forehead to floor. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Awesome. And come back on to hands and knees. We'll keep the left hand where it is and stretch the right leg all the way back here. Give a little shift forward and back once again. And then we're going to turn, pause right here, turn, pivot on the knee. So you're going to kickstand the foot behind you, pivot on the toe. So your right foot now is a side blade to the floor. Now we're in side plank, right hand lifts. We let the head be an extension of the spine, not some off center from it. So the head's looking forward, chest and shoulders are looking forward, hips are looking forward, right here. And then take your top leg, so your right foot's going to slide forward and step directly in front of your left knee. The toes are pointing forward. You're going to push down and lift the back leg. Then lower the knee again. Push down through the hand and the foot. Lift the knee, lift the foot, and lower back down. Push down through your right foot, left hand. Lift the leg and then shoot it all the way to the blade of the foot. And we're in side plank again. A little different energy here. Lower the hip to the floor and tap the floor behind you. Inhale, open the arm, big rainbow style overhead. And exhale, lower. It's another way to get into the hip and the QL. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, let's bring the arms all the way to the floor. Step your right leg back to meet your left. Come back onto your hands and knees. And extend the left leg now to the back wall. Give it a little pulsation forward and back. And I'll show you how this works from the other side or opposite view. So you kickstand the right foot, right leg, and pivot on the toe on the back foot. Opening, stacking shoulders on shoulders, hips on hips, arm to the sky. Now we're in a side side extension. Right here. Make sure the head is an extension of the spine. Fingertips are strong. And you can stay here in this pose. I'm going to slide the back foot forward. So the foot and knee are facing the direction I'm looking. And then press into the floor with my right hand and my left foot. And just get the right knee to gently lift off the ground and then lower. Again, press. Maybe lift the foot. If you'd like, lift the foot and shoot the leg all the way to the back edge of your mat on the blade of the foot. And now we're in Vasisthasana or side plank. Again, arm comes all the way up and over. And then exhale, lower the hip to the floor. Tap the floor behind you. Inhale, lift. Up and over. Exhale, lower. Again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One last time. Exhale, lower. Plant the hands to the earth. Square the shoulders. Step all the way back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the right leg to the sky. Exhale, through to pigeon. So the right knee angles towards the right hand, the left foot coming towards the left hand, in between the hand and the hip. We're going to rise up very strongly here. Hand on the block. And then if you'd like, bend the back knee. Catch the foot. For a second quad stretch, you're going to draw the heel towards the glute. I'm going to flip the hand around. So the options here, hand on the block. The foot can be quite a distance away from the hip, or you can start to bring it in, press the heel towards the glute, and then right arm comes up or out. So a lot of steadiness through the front leg, and then a little release here. Stay in the pigeon. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold forward. In an undulation, wave-like form. Inhale, up. Exhale, forward. Again, like a wave-like action. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Oh, you guys got this. One more time. I did say hips, hams, and thighs are going to really get an opening. And you know what? It takes as much energy to extend a muscle as it does to contract. So we don't really realize that, but it's exhausting to open up the muscle. That's why we get fatigued even doing this work. Let's step all the way back. You free the right leg. Take a breath. This feels like a break now. The left leg is its turn. So we lift and step all the way through to the pigeon once again. So diagonally crossing the mat. Now, some folks, we talked about this, the SI joint. This is very asymmetrical, so your SI joint is not going to like this much. There are lots of options for pigeon. There's the lying down option. There's the seated pigeon where you've got the ankle crossing the thigh. This is seated. You could upright this and I could stand on one leg and do the same thing, maybe hold a chair. Or I can lay all the way back and do the same thing. So lots of options for pigeon. All right, so it does not have to be this particular pigeon. Although when you are here, we have the option of bending the knee, clasping the top of the foot, and getting that extra stretch for the quad. If that's in your favor and you want to do that, great. Hand to the block, lifting from the pelvic floor. Left arm comes up or stays on the block to steady yourself. We don't want to put pressure on the knees either. One more breath. And then gently release. Let's come all the way back into downward facing dog. And we're going to do something now that you probably haven't done since high school, maybe. So stay with me here. So I lost a deep opening. So the right leg extends to the sky, and I'm going to give you lots of options. Step all the way through. Bring your back knee to the floor and bring it into a half Hanuman, Ardha Hanumanasana. So it's a half split right here. We've already been here before. Okay, so some friends who are really open in the hamstring right now and want to do this can take the heel and slide it forward. And even in sliding it forward, I want the front heel and the back knee towards each other. All right, so we're not dropping into this. Now, if you do have a blanket or a block, you could set upon it if it's high enough. Yes, I've seen people stack them 3 high. And believe me, like if you haven't done this since high school, this will be a pretty big leap, right? We don't want it to be a tear. So make it accessible for your own body and your own safety. And for me, I think I want just a little blanket right here. So that's giving me a little more support, yes. And again, giving the deeper stretch to the hip flexor. I'm gonna bow forward. And inhale, come up. Shift. Free the leg by pulling the heel back into our Ardha Hanumanasana. If you're already here, then you're just gonna keep the heel coming back and step it into a downward dog. Okay, so the second side. Now this is accessible for everybody in their own way. So I want you to do what you can do, bring it through. So we're in a low lunge. That's everybody's accessible here. Blocks or no blocks. Knee to the floor, still accessible. We're coming to Ardha Hanuman, half split, still accessible. If your knee aches right here, place a blanket underneath it. You could come up high. I want this front leg, if it was bent last time, let's straighten it out all the way. Okay, and then so for some friends who want to go a little deeper, well, you could use the block. You're going to slide the heel forward and then toe your back knee back a little bit until you get that deeper stretch. You might want to block. Take a couple breaths with the block underneath the hip. Yeah, that gives me a little platform to catch my breath. And then if the hamstring can go deeper or wants to go deeper, and I wouldn't force this, right? You ever done that? The jump splits, that's a forced split. And that's how we rip our hamstrings out. So don't do that. We'll just playfully see where we land and how this feels on the body. Oh yeah, we're staying close to the floor. But these ginormous stretches, that's the last thing we're gonna do right here, and draw the heel back. So we're coming all the way out of our split Hanuman and step back Hanumanasana and then back into a downward facing dog. Nice. Step or jump the feet through or to the hands. Let's just go to the hands right now. So to come forward, drop the hips, coming into Malasana. Oh, very deep, nice stretch for the low back. And the low back's gonna love this. If you've been doing a lot of gardening, this is a nice, lovely way to sit in your garden for a while. Right. And bring the hands behind the hips. Let's extend the legs all the way out. And we'll take a wide angle forward bend. So I'm going to face you. Right and left legs are going to extend to the upper pocket of your mat. Your hips on the back pocket. Now, if your heels are off of your mat, let's bend one knee in and take the angst out of the inner thigh. So for some friends, like, I don't know, I've got some friends who are challenged in their leg length is so much, I mean, the bone is so much longer than the hamstring, and the inner thigh is just really pulls. So you want to be aware of that. Let's take it up and over to the right. So one leg is bent in, or some friends want to keep that out. We can take that full wide angle, forward fold. It's a Prasarita Padottanasana. But if it's seated, it's called something else, which I can't remember right now. Let's come up to the center. And with the same knee pulled in, let's take it to the center. So we're not extending the legs out yet. If you have one drawn in, take it forward. Come back to center. Stretch the arms all the way overhead. We'll take Hakini Mudra, the 5 great elements touching, thumb, pointer fingers, middle, ring and pinky. That's fire, ether, air. Fire, air, ether, earth, and water. And bring the hands back down to your thighs. We'll extend the left leg out now. Bring the right leg in, up and over to the left. And some friends are going to want to keep that leg straight out. Keep the legs straight out. Hold 3. Hold 2. Hold 1. And then back to center. Arms straight out, and then we'll come forward with the knees still bent. And hinge the hips forward. So your sit bones are moving back. The inner thigh is moving towards the floor, grounding the pubic bone. And then turn the knees towards the sky. If they're turning out, then we're leaving the sacrum behind us, right? Get the sacrum to come in and up, and your knees will face upward. And just pause here, right? There's no need to go forward if you're screaming in the inner thighs. This is awesome. And we're going to come back to center. Let's see. So we had the left leg forward, right, in that bend. Let's bring your, right leg knee. Let's bring your left leg over the top. So we end up in half Lord of the Fishes. Hug the knee into the chest. Inhale here. We'll take the right arm up. And with a slight breeze over to the side. Big side body stretch. Anchor the hips. And come back to center. And twist. You're going to hook the elbow around the knee. Look behind your left shoulder. Full deep breath in, full deep breath out. Alternatively, the bottom leg, like if your sit bones are way up here and it's super uncomfortable, and you're feeling like my knees have a lot of bulk and this is not working for me, straighten the leg. So when it's straight out and your hips are down, we're going to open up the hip and the medial glute better with the bones rooted than you are uprooted here. Some kind of configuration that's not working well. So be mindful of that. Okay, come back to center. We're going to shift the heel up to the hip. I'm in a half Gomukhasana, Ardha Gomukhasana. If I were to show this from the side, I'm not switching legs. So still your right leg's out, your left leg is crossed over. We're taking it forward. And for folks who still have this heel tucked in, now you're going into a full Gomukhasana. Full Gomukhasana. Let's take the right arm and cross it to your right leg. Left arm, cross it to your left leg. And bow forward. So I'm showing quite a range of motion for this posture. Some friends really aren't going to have that range. So you might have a block underneath and just sitting upright with leaning forward. You may have a blanket, or you might have that one leg forward. Okay. So I'm showing what works well for me, and then showing progressions that worked well for me that I go to when I need more breath, more awareness. Just take it at a different speed and pace. Okay, and then bring it back to center. So we're really getting juiciness in the hips. And we're going to release this cross so the legs come all the way out again. We're in that wide angle. Then we bring the opposite knee in and fold the leg over the top. I've got I'm mirroring you, so it would be your left leg on the bottom as a base and your right knee over. And if you want, try placing the foot in front of the shin. So if this is comfortable, but this is not, bring the foot here. We want to open that hip baby steps at a time. The other option is to have the legs straight. And we're going to take the left arm up and over to the side. Big side body stretch, QL. I love that one. And come back to center. Sweeping motion. Let's twist and reach behind with the opposite hand. Extend through the spine. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Inhale back to center. Ardha Gomukhasana. So we're folding the all the way in. Inhale, lean forward. And if that's comfortable, right, you may want to bring the other heel in. I'm going to show the crossing. So my left hand is going to grab the left hip, right hand to the right ankle and bow in. Alternatively, I'm holding both ankles here. For 3 breaths. 2 more. And last one. If it feels good to stay here longer. Yes, this practice is for you. And we're going to gently come out. Shift the hands behind. Free the legs all the way out in front of you and shake the legs out. We're going to lie onto your back. Bringing the knees into the chest. Exhale all the air out. I don't know how this class goes by so fast, but it does. Inhale, bring the knees away. Exhale all the air out. Inhale, keeping a hold of the knees. Let's guide the knees in a circle. Releasing the sacrum area. So what we did do today was a lot of asymmetrical movement where one leg was forward and one leg was back. And for those of you who may have issues with the SI joint, it may have, hopefully we didn't irritate it, but that can be irritating to do the asymmetry. So some of the modifications I showed would be very useful. And I invite you to really be mindful of that area, especially the ladies. We have 2 ligaments that actually keep the pelvis and the spine together at the sacroiliac joint. And men have 3 on each side. So women, it's a little looser for a reason, because we give birth. And because of that, just functionally, we're going to have a little more trouble in that area. So we want to make sure that you're aware of how you're treating the sacrum. So let's bring the hands to the hip pocket here and then press forward, grounding down, lifting the low back away from the floor. Take a breath in, curl the tailbone down, and then exhale, curl the tailbone up and release the pressure on the thighs. Inhale, so we're tipping the pelvis. And exhale, tip it back. So pubic bone comes up. Exhale, inhale, pubic bone goes down. I'm going to push into the thighs and exhale, little rocking action. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. Press the hands into the thigh, lifting the low back, and then exhale. Touch the low back to the mat. And I'm not using that resistance anymore. We're going to take the left leg all the way down. Bring the right knee into the chest. We open the front channel, the hip flexor right here. And then give your hamstrings one last little bit of love. So you're going to interlace the fingers behind the knee and then squeeze the hamstring muscle. So we're squeezing the upper back thigh. We're hugging the muscle to the bone. And if you push your leg forward into the hand, your hamstring is going to love you. Yes, that feels so good. Hamstrings are like 3-year-olds. They don't like to be forced to do anything. They want a choice. And they love hugs. So that's a great way to get some hugs in today. Let's expand that into a lying down split. And then take it out to the side. Whew. With or without the bottom knee bent. So try it both ways. Maybe your base leg, the left leg that's rooted, is bending, so you have more openness as you extend out to the side. That can be very challenging. Then we're going to cross the ankle over the thigh and drop the knees over to your left. Open the right arm overhead. The left arm gently coaxing the knee over. Deep breath in, deep breath out, releasing the low back. Let it go here. It's definitely my favorite, one of my favorite ending sequences. We're going to bring it back to center. Extend the right leg now all the way into the floor. The heel extending and pressing forward, the thigh bone pressing down, and then bring your left knee in to the chest and give it a little hug towards the armpit. This is your chance to really open that whole split. Been working on it. And now you can go a little deeper. Unfold the knee so the leg extends to the sky. Press the hamstring into the hand and the hand into the hamstring. Remember, we're giving ourselves another set of hugs. And we can never get too many hugs. 4 hugs a day, that's the minimum. 4 hugs a day, not the maximum. So give yourself a hug. And then extend the leg all the way towards the forehead. Give it a little ankle rotation. Meanwhile, your bottom leg, base leg, it's either anchored here or bend the knee and anchor the foot and hip to the earth. And then open your left leg out to the side. I'm holding the ankle like a pedestal so I can really extend the leg out. Bend it back in, cross the ankle over the thigh and drop over to your right side now. Left arm reaching up. Head, neck, and shoulders relax into the earth. And then gently coax the knee over. So we're opening up the whole hip side. And for me, quite open for our practice. So I'm feeling the love. It's Memorial Day today. It's where we give thanks and praise to those who have gone before us in ways of being heroes and heroines in our life, and perhaps pause for a moment. As you bring the legs down and pocket your heel to the corner of each edge of the mat, and soften the eyes, relaxing into Shavasana. Bring your awareness to someone in your life who has gone before you and paved the road as your own hero or heroine. And often the heroine, the hero, is that person who quietly goes about business, doing service for others, without note or compensation or expectation of return, anything in return. Though our gratitude and our deep awareness and acknowledgement for those people, persons in our lives who go above and beyond the extra mile is greatly appreciated. We bring our mind and awareness to those people, even those who are on the front lines in the way of our soldiers and those who protect our country. May we be protective of the peace of our country by first cultivating that peace in our own hearts and minds. And the awareness of peace, peaceful means begets peaceful outcomes. Peaceful people bring about more peace in life. So whom can we turn to and look to for their self-sacrifice in bringing peace to the world? It could be a grandmother, a mother, a sister, a brother. And when you hold their face in your mind's eye, just tell them the words that you really want them to hear in the way of an acknowledgement, deep gratitude for how they show up in your life. Let your whole body have a sweet surrendering into the earth. The earth from which we were made, to which we will one day return. How we will be remembered as a hero or heroine in the lives of others is completely our choice. In our thoughts and deeds and actions every day. How can you be a hero or heroine in your own life and perhaps one other today? Take a deep breath into the belly. Begin to move the fingers and toes, ankles and wrists, and we'll come from this deep meditation, Shavasana, where all things are possible. And draw the knees into the chest, roll to one side in fetal position. In remembrance and deep gratitude for those who've gone before us, the unsung heroes, the unsung, the unseen, and the ever willingness of those who protect our freedom in whatever way, shape, or form. How can we now honor each of those individuals that have gone before us in our life, in the way we show up, in the way we gift and give our whole heart, mind, and spirit to the living, in the way we treat those around us with respect, grace, honor. Beginning with the vessel that you're with right now and those closest to you in your home. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be at peace with good health, strength, and vitality. May this be so. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you for your presence, practice, and your deep soul beauty. Enjoy the journey. Namaste.